from being a business transaction to Usher making sure that Justin stayed safe from Diddy, here are a few shocking secrets Usher's recently revealed about his time with P. Diddy. Long before Kris Jenner popularized the term, Janetta Patton was the original momager, and she wore that badge proudly. But from what Usher's revealed about the lifestyle his mother essentially forced him into, Jonetta shouldn't be standing tall and proud at all. Here's a bit of backstory to get you up to speed. Everyone knows him as P. Diddy. However, the singer-songwriter and Usher's mentor was listed under his legal name, Sean Combs, in court filings. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, started a chain of women accusing Diddy of committing horrific crimes. Some of the allegations date as far back as 1991, which, if you remember, was the same year Usher signed with LaFace Records. It was obvious from a young age that Usher was born to make waves in the industry. And when his mother recognized her son's potential, she relocated the family to Atlanta, seeking better opportunities for her son. Signing with a major record label as a preteen was a pretty big accomplishment, and Jonetta took all the credit. Well, she actually spared some credit for Usher's mentor, the man she willingly let her underage son go on tours with for years. Yup, you guessed it. Sean P. Diddy Combs. The musician's 1994 self-titled debut album was as successful as it was controversial. Because even though Think of You was a hit, there was something unsettling about a 15-year-old singing about explicit material. However, people managed to move past it because, well, it was the 1990s. Years later, though, the one thing everyone can't seem to get over is that Jonetta made it sound like a business transaction. We're talking about the fact that she let Usher tour and travel with Diddy. It is ironic that the momager claims she was doing the right thing, because look at Usher now. However, when Usher was a young teenager breaking into the music industry, his so-called mentor treated him horribly. Sure, he was releasing chart-topping albums one after the other, but behind the scenes, Diddy was exposing him to graphic adult content. According to some reports, the business mogul exploited the aspiring hip-hop artist. But why are these reports resurfacing now, decades later? Well, thanks to Cassie and the brave women who stepped forward and shared their stories of Diddy's crimes. The victims all claimed that Diddy used his power and influence to rope them into a false sense of security before exploiting them. The same happened in Usher's case too. So, after signing with LaFace Records, Jonetta made the business decision to send her son over to New York to live with Diddy. Now, the thing is, Diddy had been mentoring several young up-and-coming musicians like Usher in what he called the Puffy Flavour Camp. To summarize, a group of teenage hip-hop artists looked up to Diddy and believed he could help them break into the music scene. Unfortunately, that came with a few thousand strings attached. Ed Lover claimed that he saw Usher gouge down bottle after bottle of champagne at the VIP lounge of a Manhattan club one night in the 90s. Reports of Diddy exploiting the young boys surfaced in the early 2000s, but Usher consistently dismissed the allegations. It was only recently, after more and more reports of Diddy's horrific actions came to light, that people started piecing together what Usher had been saying through the lines all those years ago. For example, on an episode of The Howard Stern Show, the musician was asked if he'd ever let either of his sons go to Puffy's Flavour Camp. Usher, like always, didn't miss a beat and promptly replied with a resounding no.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
He practically screamed it. Besides that, he's been coy about what happened during that time of his life and only revealed that he'd been exposed to things and situations no other teenager should have to be exposed to. In an interview with Essence magazine, Usher stated that he would only reveal what actually happened with Diddy in his book, but we're still waiting for that book. Speaking of which, there have been several reports that Diddy had been intimate with Usher. Some claims come from ex-bodyguards who didn't divulge much, but some came from leading celebrities and people who were very close to Diddy. One of them was the business mogul's longtime partner and the mother of two of his kids, Kimberly Porter. The two had a rocky relationship, and that's putting it lightly. Anyway, after a long on-again and off-again relationship, Kimberly finally decided she was done with Diddy and decided to write a tell-all book, which, if reports are to be believed, contained graphic details about his relationship with Usher. Unfortunately, Kimberly passed away from lobar pneumonia before the book could be released. Do not be fooled by Diddy's portrayal of a grieving ex-lover. Many believe he paid to keep Kimberly's book off the shelves. All that's speculation though, but Jamie Foxx more or less confirmed some weird stuff was going on between Usher and Diddy. The actor claimed they slept in the same bed. After reports of sexual misconduct came out against P. Diddy, everyone revisited articles and rewatched interviews of him with Usher. For example, in an interview with Kevin Hart, a drunk Diddy blurted out that he and Usher would sleep in the same bed. He tried to cover it up by making it seem like it was all in brotherly fun and that they'd fight over the remote and frosted cereal. Now, when rewatching those clips, you can tell from the uncomfortable look on Usher's face that something dark and disturbing was going on behind the scenes. Usher might be staying quiet about it all for now, but one thing's for sure, P. Diddy's career is over and it's about time. The business mogul shifted his focus from singing to producing and then venturing into other businesses to create his multi-billion-dollar empire. Who here can name an ethical billionaire though? Exactly. And with the allegations plus reports of what really went down in Puffy's Flavour Camp, it's clear that everyone has their pitchforks up against Diddy. Now, Usher's been quiet, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that Diddy has long been exploiting aspiring musicians. Another famous name you'd probably recognize would be Justin Bieber. The story of the Canadian singer's meteoric rise to fame has been well documented, and everyone knows that Usher, as part of his record label, was the first person to sign Justin. The two have always had a close relationship and even collaborated on a few hits together. Unfortunately, their close friendship and business relationship also meant that Diddy would be in and out of young Justin's life. A video of a then 15-year-old Justin hanging out with a then 40-year-old Diddy at his mansion has gone viral over the past year. It seems harmless enough until Diddy gets to the part where he admits the preteen would be spending 2 whole unsupervised days with him at the mansion. He also makes it sound like a good thing, claiming that while he can't divulge the projects they'd be working on, they were just enough to make a young boy's dreams come true. Diddy even abruptly asked him why he hadn't been hanging out with him anymore, and Justin just looked here and there, rambling about losing his number. It was all uncomfortable to watch. To Usher's credit though, it looks like he tried his best to protect Justin. Again, we may never know the entire story until Usher releases his highly anticipated book. But one thing is certain, Diddy was a manipulator who preyed on young men in the music industry. In Justin's case, however, some people believe that Usher kept Diddy from harming the young teen. According to Usher, he worked tirelessly to ensure that everything went smoothly for Justin, and everyone jokes that this included hiring a personal swagger coach, which is a real thing by the way. But some reports suggest that Usher kept Diddy from over-influencing Justin. Usher has stated the events he witnessed while living with Diddy were things he wishes he had not seen or heard. He told Howard Stern that he went with Diddy at his mother's insistence as well as some of his own because he wanted to experience the lifestyle. In hindsight, he did get to witness just that, but it was all too much for his young teen self to comprehend. Magazines have reported that Usher starts to tense up whenever anyone broaches the subject of the Puffy Flavour Camp. Cassie's shocking testimonies, however, have made one thing clear. There's a dark and deeply disturbing reality about P. Diddy that we know nothing about. That's everything about Usher's experience with P. Diddy.